Hey friends, welcome back. My name is Emily. I tutor the young apprentices. I've been tutoring for 3 years now. Today I'm going to share with you what we did for Cycle 3, Week 21 for the new grammar, and then at the end I'll share with you a new review game that we tried out in class. And I also have a playlist of a bunch of different review games that I've done in class, so you can check that out. So first we did geography. Today we only used the color maps. I know we're supposed to use color and the black line map in class, but with these regions, the colors just really helped. So we just did this one, and it took us almost 10 minutes just to do this one activity. So I don't regret my decision. So the way we located the regions was I called out the colors, and I also had circled them on my map ahead of time so it's easier for the kids to see. So the Eastern Woodland Territories are these two right here. So I called out the peach and the purple are the Eastern Woodland Territories. So they circled the words, and then I told them to cover it, use their whole hand to cover the territory. So the idea behind this activity was to compare the different sizes of the different territories using our hands. So as we covered it with our hand, we said it 3 times, and when we circled it, we also said it. Next was the Plains Territory. That one we also used our whole hand to cover. And then for the smaller territories, we just used our finger to trace along them. And the California one, I said, where do you think the California Territory is? And so they were able to locate that easily because we already learned where California is. For the Northwest Coast Territory, there's 2 spots on the map. So we traced one and said it, and then we traced the other and said it just to make sure we got them both. So we just use our finger for the tinier spots. And then here for the Great Basin, that one was big enough where I had us use our fist to cover that area while we said it. And then, as usual, I said the location and they had to locate it and erase it. Next we did English. We continued on with the song that we've been doing the previous 2 weeks. So it's a 3-week song. It's to, I think it's Santa Claus is Coming to Town, to that tune. I will link the original one in the description so you can hear someone sing it better than me. But I will sing the part that we sang in class today. And at the end, part of the sentence says, cannot stand alone. And for that part, I had the kids fall to the ground or they could squat down. So we all snapped along and sang the song like this. A subordinate clause, also known as a dependent clause, does not express a complete thought and cannot stand alone. And then we squatted down and stood up and we sang it a few times. The kids really enjoyed snapping to it and getting up and down. Next we did history. First for history, I say the sentence and have the kids repeat after me as I teach the hand motions. Then we listen to the song and do the hand motions, and then we do a silly story at the end. So first I'll go over what we did for the hand motions. There's a lot of extra music in this song, so whenever there was extra music, we did a moonwalk. So first we practiced our moonwalking or moon jumping just to get that down. So then we said in 1969, we did a 6 and then a 9. For astronauts, we did a rocket sign, which is like the letter R in your hand and the rocket goes up. Astronauts. And one of the girls in the class really got a good giggle out of this. I don't know why, but it was so fun. And then for the astronauts' names, we just did the moonwalk for that part. And then for walk on the moon, 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 this was our moon and we just walked on it. Walk on the moon, moon, moon. So not too many hand signs this time, but it was a really fun song. Okay, for the silly story, up on the board, I have these dry erase pockets. I love these things because I can write on them ahead of time, like the night before. And when I get to class, you can either like sticky tack them up to the board, or my board's magnetic, so I just put a magnet on them and keep them on the board. So I erase some of the keywords, and then I say silly words in place of them. And when the kids hear the wrong word, they have to correct me and tell me what the right word is. So this really reinforces those key words for them. I originally got this idea from Love Mrs. C here on YouTube, and it's been a hit in class, so we just keep doing it. So instead of astronauts, I said aristocrats. You could also say aristocats if you want. Instead of Neil Armstrong, I said Big Bird. Instead of Edwin Aldrin, I said Chuck E. Cheese. And instead of moon, I said monster trucks. If you use my videos to help you in class, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That way it can get out to other people who will also find the video helpful. It helps the algorithm somehow to get the video out. So thank you for doing that. Next we did timeline. For timeline, we did our abbreviated hand motions. So I get these hand motions from CC Connected, but we don't do all of the ones that they recommend in the class, just because this is the first time my class and I are learning these hand motions. So for World War II, we did a WW2, World War II. For Stalin, we did a mustache, like Stalin's mustache on the timeline card. For the massacre, we did the sign for kill, which is this. It's kind of like stabbing. For United Nations, we did united, which is linking your fingers together like this. For Cold War, you could just do war, or you could do Cold War. For independence, we broke free, independence. For Jewish state, we stroked our beards. And for China, you touch each shoulder and then your right hip, China. We already have done a lot of these, or we've already done a few of these hand signs throughout the year, so it wasn't too much for the kids. The next thing we did was Latin. We've been doing the King's Thing song in our community in the morning all year, so we've been learning hand motions to it. So I just use those hand motions in class. So what we did for name, you have two fingers like this and you tap them. Name. And for John, you sign a J. So this would be, in Latin, it would be Nomen Johannes. I'm using the King Things song from Spotify. So the timestamps I have for the Latin portion is 2 minutes and 44 seconds. And for the English part, it's 1 minute and 11 seconds. For science, I handed out cups to all the kids. I said the memory work. I split it into 3 parts at first because it's a really long sentence. So I said one part of the sentence and they repeated after me into their cup, which changed their voice, and they had a blast with that. So we did it split up into 3 sections a few times, and then I split it up into 2 sections to make it a little more challenging, and they just repeated after me. And then last we did math. For open parentheses, we put our arms out like this, and for closed parentheses, we clapped our hands. We sang this to the tune of Do Lord, and here's how it goes. The associative law for addition states, open parentheses, A plus B, close parentheses, plus C equals A, plus open parentheses, B plus C, close parentheses. The associative law for multiplication states, open parentheses, A times B, close parentheses, times C equals A, times open parentheses, B times C, close parentheses. So we just sang through that a few times, and we had fun clapping at the close parentheses part. Okay, next we did our review game. This is a game that I got from another homeschool mom. She makes her own review games that she sells on Etsy. And she let me try a few out to try and share my honest review. So I'm going to tell you guys how we used it in class. The way I used it in class is a little bit different than the rules that are laid out that come with the game, but I just figured it would work better this way for a 30-minute time slot with 8 kids playing. So this is a cooperative game. This is called Operation Alien Rescue, and all the kids are working together to rescue their alien ally who's on the mothership. So when you get the game, you get 3 different motherships. They come on sheets like this, and they're each numbered, so each tile has a number. And then when you get it, you'll well, I printed it off on cardstock and laminated it. But then you cut them up and then you assemble the pieces on the table, and you can put an alien ally behind one of the tiles. So every time the kids get an answer correctly, they get to name one of the tiles and try and flip it over and see if they can find their alien ally. There's other elements to the game to make it more challenging and difficult, but we just tried this way the first time. The rules say you should put a marker on the tile, and you need like 2 markers on the tile to flip it over. But with, what is it? I think it's 12 tiles. I wasn't sure if we'd get through it in class. We're kind of slow with the review questions, so I didn't bring the markers, and the kids just got to choose which tile they wanted to flip over. You have your astronauts. I put 4 up on the board. These are all our astronauts that are working towards saving our alien ally, and they each have 3 hit points. So the way the game works is when a child would pull a review card and answer the question. If they get it right, then they have to roll a dice. If they roll a 1, then one of your astronauts loses a hit point. So you could conceivably, like, your astronauts could die. But if you get 4 right in a row, then you get to gain a hit point back. Looking back on the game, I think I only would have put 2 people up on the board, just because really we were only losing like 1 or 2 hit points within the game. It wasn't very many, so it didn't seem as challenging having 4 of these on the board. Okay, so then after they roll the dice, then they get to choose which tile they want to flip over, and we flip it over and see if the alien ally is there. If the alien ally is under that tile that you flip over, then you win the game. So I like it because it's cooperative. Competition in my class can go awry a little bit sometimes, and I personally really enjoy cooperative games at home as well. So we're going to try this out at home as well for our review time with my family. So it's inexpensive, and if you're looking to switch up your review games in the classroom or at home, I think it's a good option for you. There are different teammates than these 4. I'm just showing the 4 that we used. There's a lot of options as far as like different styles, and same with the alien ally. There was a lot of options for different little alien creatures, but I wanted to use this little cute one. So I just used washi tape. I just did like a little tape circle thing, basically made it double-sided tape and taped this to the back. And then we ended up playing it a second time in class, and so it was easy for me to just move this onto the back of another tile and play again. So that's all I have for you this week. I hope to be back for next week, week 22. I keep getting sick, I keep losing my voice, but I'm determined to finish out the year and not have to have a sub again, and hopefully continue to make videos. So thanks for sticking around to the end, and God willing, I'll see you guys next time.